Hope you had fun today, watching some great golf in some really difficult conditions. Welcome to Palma Golf and Country Club and our tribute to Walter Hagen. I'm John Jabe. It's my privilege this year to serve as president of your club. Let me extend a particularly warm welcome to the outstanding golfers participating in this year's Gasparilla Invitational. Yeah. Round of applause for all the golfers participating. Thank you. Okay, I want to thank the Palma members for offering up their golf course for this great event. I hope that you're watching top amateur players tackle your course. And thank you to the Gasparilla Executive Committee and the tournament committees and our fine club staff and all of the member volunteers for making this tournament possible. The genesis of today's ceremony was the club's 2016 centennial celebration and the great work that was done by Dr. Bill Carson, Chairman of the History Committee, General Manager Bob Lay, club staff, and celebrating our club's history. Highlighting that history is the special relationship that Palma has with Walter Hagen. Walter Hagen, he was one of the greatest golfers who ever lived. For this Hagen Memorial, I want to thank the History Committee, and I especially want to recognize the efforts of committee member Bill Josie. Bill originated and developed the idea of a Hagen Memorial. Thank you, Bill. He'll be up here in a couple minutes for a toast. Thank you, Bill. In March of 1917, 3 months after the course opened for play, 25-year-old Walter Hagen played 2 exhibition rounds here, shooting a course record 76 on each occasion. The next year, Hagen agreed to serve as Palma seasonal club pro. He arrived here in January of 1919 and used our club as a base operation while playing on the Florida Winter Circuit. This included several well-publicized events played here, such as the National Midwinter Open. The practice that winter must have served Walter very well because that June he won his second U.S. Open representing both Palma and Oakland Hills Country Club. In the 1930s, the Gasparilla Open was a PGA event that offered the richest purse in all of golf. Hagen returned to Palma to play in the 1935 Gasparilla, although he was not expected to do much. By his own admission, he was past his prime, and he had not won a PGA event in 2 years. But the Hague felt comfortable on his old Florida track, and he went on to win the tournament in spectacular fashion with a birdie finish that would be his last individual PGA win. Today, we are commemorating that event with this plaque over here to my right, which will be placed on the 17th tee where the improbable comeback began. Today, we dedicate this plaque with a toast to Sir Walter's memory. But first, before we have that toast, we are honored to have as our guest today Mr. Brody Waters, Vice President of the World Golf Hall of Fame in St. Augustine. Brody is going to take a few moments to describe the importance of Walter Hagen played in the development of golf into the global sport that we know today. Brody.
Thank you, John. Good evening, everyone. As John mentioned, my name is Brody Waters, and on behalf of the World Golf Hall of Fame, I'm honored to be here tonight to celebrate one of the game's greatest players and a member of the Hall of Fame. Now, Walter Hagen may be best known for his showmanship and his dapper style and his big personality. He was known as Sir Walter or the Hague, and he was one of the game's first truly colorful characters. But that big personality and colorful persona, I think, sometimes overshadows the absolute dominance he displayed on the course. You see, ask most people these days, who's third behind Jack Nicklaus and Tiger Woods in Majors 1? And Walter Hagen may not be the name most people say, but that's the record he holds. He won 11 majors during his career, and that doesn't take into account the 5 Western Opens he won, which during his time most would say was considered a major. So you add that to the fact that in Hagen's day he was playing before the Masters began, so he was competing for 3 majors per year, whereas Jack and Tiger were chasing 4 every year. Now, during the 16-year span between Hagen's first major in 1914 and his last in 1929, Walter Hagen won more than 25% of the majors he competed in. So add the opportunity to compete in the Masters if that was happening during his career, and it's easy to say that he very likely would have been challenging Nicklaus's current record of most majors won in a career. But Hagen's 11 majors are part of his 45 wins he had on his PGA Tour during his career, which ranks him among the top 10 all time. But it's not just the volume of wins that he amassed during his career, but I think more importantly, it's the way he went about doing it. Pure dominance. Hagen had the ability to escape seemingly any situation, and honestly, he very well could be the best of all time at getting out of those types of situations. He was aggressive in his play, but he said that he went into each round expecting to make 7 mistakes. So a bad shot was no big deal to him. It was just one of those 7 mistakes. And that mentality allowed him to never panic and to have an attitude that people described as 1 part bravado, 5 parts serenity. He exemplified the saying that the shot that matters most is the next one. Now, when he played, I think a lot of people would say he truly just took the heart out of the competitors he was playing against, especially in match play. You see, when they would see him hit a bad shot, they would get a glimmer of hope that they've got a chance to catch him, only to then watch him make miraculous save after miraculous save, oftentimes for birdie. And that's what happened right here. After an improbable birdie on 17, he went on to kind of do what Hagen did on 18, 1935. A couple erratic shots, he found himself in a bunker. No panic, up and down, birdie, wins the tournament. And that's the style that I mentioned before perfectly suited him for match play, where he's got a career record that is still the thing of legends. He once amassed 22 consecutive 36-hole match victories in PGA championships. Just a record that's incomprehensible in today's golf. Now, his dominance, I think in a lot of ways, should be contributed to the fact that Hagen was really the first to understand the psychological element of the game. You see, he was getting into his opponent's heads long before Arnie was firing up his armies or Tiger was staring down an opponent with his Sunday red. Hagen was known to do things like getting to his ball and letting his opponent see him grab a 3-wood. But he wouldn't let his opponent see him choke down on that subtly, because he knew his opponent would have seen the 3-wood and would then go back and start questioning his own club selection. Or he would hustle up and maybe get to his opponent's ball before he did, pass by it, take a look at his opponent's lie, and shake his head, knowing that his opponent would then think he has a bad fortune on what he was going to be facing when he got there. The level of gamemanship he played was unmatched at the time. Now, as you can see, he's truly one of the greats for his play on course, but many would say that if it weren't for Hagen, there would be no Arnie, there would be no Jack, there would be none of these others. Because it was Hagen who ushered in the era of the professional golfer, bringing it into a place of prominence in the world of golf. His relentless determination and the style and flair and bravado that he brought to the game was unlike anything golf had ever seen. And it changed the way the game was viewed by the masses. He changed the perception of the professional golfer and elevated it to a celebrity status, and really laid the groundwork for where the game is today, where we've got golfers endorsing products around the world, competing for millions of dollars on a weekly basis, and are some of the most recognizable names in all of sports. Now, the wins, the style, the personality, it all added up to Walter Hagen being selected as an unquestioned charter member of the World Golf Hall of Fame in 1974. Now, on behalf of the Hall of Fame, I can honestly say that we are thrilled that Sir Walter is going to be recognized here this evening, this weekend, and every day moving forward with this plaque that's going on 17. Not just to celebrate the incredible victory he had here in 1935, but even more so, the overall impact he's had on this great game. So I want to thank you all for allowing me to be here this evening, and I want to leave you all with the words that Hagen said was his personal creed. He said, "You're only here for a short visit. Don't hurry, don't worry, and don't forget to smell the flowers along the way." I think wise words we can all keep in mind. And I thank you again and hope you guys enjoy what's going to be a wonderful weekend of golf. Thank you all.
Brody, thank you very much. What a great job. Did a fabulous job describing Hagen's career and even some of his impact here at Palma. So, hey, does everyone have a drink? Do we all have a drink? We're ready for a toast?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Brody, for coming. Brody kind of stole my line. I was going to use that. But Walter is famous for another well-known expression, and it's probably appropriate at this time. Nobody remembers who finished second. Nobody remembers who finished second. Walter Hagen. Sir Walter, we salute you.
Cheers!
Cheers.